Hello guys. So in this video we will check what is database servers and what is database connections here on ArcCatalog. So as you know, when we create a new geodatabase, this is how it looks like inside the geodatabase. We have feature classes and we have a feature dataset and we have other kind of data that is saved inside our geodatabase. But this is a file geodatabase where it's saved on our local machine. In database server, here and here, we use this to connect to a larger size database like SQL database or Oracle, and these databases will save much larger amount of data for us. So for example, if you are working in a large organization or you work in a large company that they have a lot of GIS data, they must have ArcSDE, Arc Spatial Data Engine, and ArcSDE requires that you have a SQL database or Oracle or any other spatial databases installed on a server that you can install ArcSDE on it. The difference between database servers and database connections: database servers is used to connect to SQL Express, and SQL Express is one of Microsoft products that help you create a database, but it's an Express, it's not an enterprise version. It's like a smaller version of the database, but Esri have created like a separate way to connect to SQL Server, and the way to connect to that, I have a SQL Server installed on this machine, but I don't have ArcSDE. So because I have a SQL Server Express installed on this machine, I can double click here to add my SQL Express server and say localhost. This is my localhost machine, SQL Express, and when I click OK, you will see that here on the left side I was able to connect to my SQL Express installed on this machine. If I right click here and say I want to create a new geodatabase, I give it a name, let's say GDB, say OK, it will give me an error say that my SQL Express version doesn't have the right license to do that, because I need to install ArcSDE and I need to enable the spatial database engine on my SQL Express version. But basically, if I was able to create my geodatabase here, it will look exactly the same as it looks right here. So connecting to SQL database or Oracle or any other spatial database using ArcSDE, when you work on it, it will look exactly like how your file geodatabase looks like, and you will have the same exact options. So if you want to know what exists in SQL or Oracle geodatabase, make sure that you work on the file geodatabase, because this is the one that have the same exact things in our SQL or Oracle database. So let's go back here. So this is for the database server. You use it to connect to SQL Express. Here, database connections, if you try to add a database connection, you will see that you have different options of which kind of database you want to connect to. So here we have SQL Server, you have Oracle, you have Informix, you have DB2, you have different type of databases that exist outside that you can buy and install it on a server to host your ArcSDE data. And once you select one and you add your instance, you add your username and password, and you connect to it, it will look something like this. So this is an image for ArcCatalog connected to an ArcSDE, and here each item here is a separate database connection, and when you open the connection with the database and when you double click on any one of them, it will look like this. The only difference is when you work on an SDE database, you will see here that the type say SDE feature class, but when you work on a file geodatabase, it will say file geodatabase feature class, but you have the exact same options and the exact same capabilities. So that's basically what it is for database connections and database servers, and that's all what you need to know on how to connect to them. You connect to them using ArcCatalog, and when you open ArcMap and you want to add any data from your ArcSDE, it's the same exact way as you do with a file geodatabase. And the last thing is, if you are working with any client and you don't know what is the instance name, what is a database server, and your client have an ArcSDE, make sure to ask your database administrator what is the instance name, what database they are using, and make sure that you get a username and password so you can connect to this ArcSDE database. So that's it for this video, and in the next video we will see how we can connect to an ArcGIS server. So we'll see you on the next one. Thanks.